A parent called me the other day and said, Craig, what's going on? And it was one of those conversations where I could hear it in a voice that something didn't seem right. And she said, Craig, what's going on? Every time I turn on the news, every time I read a newspaper, I see stabbed, shot, murdered, brutally attacked. She said, Craig, what's going on? The question's bothered me for a few weeks now, and I felt this is a poignant opportunity to respond to this. There's a dark cloud over the West Midlands at the minute. There's been a number of incidents where our children's lives have been taken by other children, from Wolverhampton to Birmingham to Coventry. And even with the incident that happened last week where a 14-year-old's life was taken by other children, has really kind of opened our eyes into a reality of which many of us have been talking about for some time now. And it's hard because it feels like sometimes that things ain't changing, things ain't getting better, and things are somehow getting worse. And one of the things that I try to get people to understand is the context of which we, our children, our young people are living in. 9 months ago, I made a prediction, and I said that if the government were not going to acknowledge that resources were made available for children and young people, we're going to start to see violence in a new type of way. And over the last 9 months, within COVID-19, we've seen exactly that. We're talking about young people engaging in conflict on social media platforms. And as a consequence of that conflict on a social media platform, we've then started to see behaviors take place in our community. Shootings, stabbings, innocent young people that are being attacked. We've seen videos of young people being attacked outside food shops, young people running for their life from individuals trying to harm them with firearms, young people being stabbed. We've seen exactly that. Young people getting caught up in scenarios where they're waiting for food outside a food shop and a group of young people pull up and shoot after them. Young people in places that we as adults probably look at and think they shouldn't be there anyway, but we're in a lockdown, young people are bored. Some young people are fleeing from the fact that there's issues taking place in their household, and because they're out and about, they dress a particular way, they talk a particular way. Young people that are on a mission to cause harm to other young people for whatever reason, identify these particular young people and harm them, and how many young people that are innocent that are getting caught up. So this is not about gangs. This is not about young people that are in conflict due to postcode. Some of that, what we're seeing may be, but one of the things I think is important that we talk about is how violent our youth are becoming. How our young people have so much access to firearms, to weaponry, and how they're prepared to utilize those weapons to deal with oftentimes trivial arguments, conflict that we as adults seem trivial. So the question is, what is the response? What can we do? And I think it's probably the most challenging and hardest questions that, not just as a professional, not just as a father, but as a member of the community, it's very difficult. There is no direct answer. But what I will do is urge parents to grab your children and keep them close. Start to ask questions. Where are your children? What are they doing? Who are they around? What is the company that they keep? And these questions that we ask are questions of survival. We have to protect our children. We have to protect them from individuals in our community that are running around causing mayhem and chaos. And we also have to be honest as well. that many of us are aware of those children in our communities and young people that are causing the trouble. Many of us know their parents, but yet still we struggle to have the conversations towards those particular parents that children are causing trouble. But I also know that a lot of those parents don't know how to talk to their children. They've lost control. And there are organizations and there are projects that take place and are happening within our community that are out there to support. So one of the things that I would like to kind of just highlight, a couple of things that I want to highlight is, one, there is help and support for those families that are struggling. But there's also help for those families that ultimately want to talk, want to express their thoughts and feelings. And I can highlight these organizations in the video to get us to kind of think about who's ultimately that's out there to help and support. But the bottom line is this: our children are dying. Nothing doesn't seem to be changing with all of the government decisions. They seem somewhat sporadic. There's no clarity. There's no clear guidance. And whilst the government are dragging their feet in order to make decisions about the environment in which we can keep our children safe, in our community, we need to stand up and do something different. We can no longer hold hands. We can no longer sit around tables. We can no longer have discussions about how we feel. Rather, what is our strategy collectively as organizations to respond to this issue? And I'm not saying that I know all of the answers, but I am saying that I am prepared to be part of something that gets us to think wider about how we respond to the issues that are impacting our children and our young people. Because unfortunately, there will be more murders. There will be more young people that are going to be sentenced for the rest of their lives because they are unable to control and deal with their emotions. And those emotions then go into or manifest into violent behavior. It's no longer an issue for the police. It's no longer an issue for youth offending. It's no longer an issue for children's services. Parents, fathers need to step up. Parents that understand what's going on need to step up. Reach out, connect to those that can. And we need to think about what the wider strategy is. So this video is a video of reflection. It's a video of condolences. And it's a video of critical reflection. Because when I look at my children and I look at my sons, I think that at some point in time, they're going to be individuals that are going to be in the community. And to know that your child has been both stabbed and shot, it's horrific. And how frequent now are we hearing of the good kids, the kids that weren't on it, the kids that wasn't involved? How frequent are we starting to hear those stories in our communities where it's those young people that are being targeted, becoming victims, whilst the kids that cause the trouble and the mayhem are out and about and nobody doesn't seem to be doing anything. So we need to also talk up and we need to be honest and we need to be real. Because for no longer we can continue to live in a community where we have silence and we don't say anything about the issues that we see right in front of us, and we just keep burying our children.